Getting ready for grab and go turned out to be one of the greatest ideas I've ever had, because now with the pandemia, it has been, a really great bridging.
You got one anyway.
My name is Wilo Benet, and I've been a chef now for almost 40 years. I started with washing dishes in Florida. That gave way to going into an apprenticeship, a traditional one in the Caribbean Hilton in Puerto Rico. Went to the city and in essence worked in a couple of great restaurants there, notably Trinidad, on its first year of operation. So, a great French training, all of that in New York City. Then I went to Chicago for about a year. And then after that, I came to Puerto Rico. I was appointed to be chef of the governor's mansion, so I did that for 2 years. And then in 1990, my wife and I opened up Picayo, our first restaurant. And then, restaurant lasted 28 years in function until Maria. Lots of great accolades for the restaurant through the years. Best museum restaurant in the world by the New York Times. And the list of people we served phenomenally of A-listers and on and forth. And then the idea came to this thing that I'm doing right now, which is Wilo Eatery and Bar, a store with grab and go coffee, and it has a hot food situation, kind of like a Chipotle, if you will. And then we have the a la carte restaurant, which has everything from like cheese croquettes to foie gras, only that in a very casual way. Waiters are dressed in black t-shirts. 1 year into it, we were going like, we were humming. We were humming. I'm telling you, 700-800 covers a day, nonstop. The store was banging. That's between store and restaurant. And all of a sudden, coronavirus. Getting ready for grab and go turned out to be one of the greatest ideas I've ever had, because now with the pandemia, it has been, a really great bridging thing, for us to go into other things, plus other opportunities that have arisen. It's not a lot of people are equipped or ready to, bang out 4,000 meals in one day, So, so a little bit. I don't know if I missed a couple points, but in a nutshell.
No, that's awesome. So you guys have been able to stay open then during the pandemic?
I have not closed. I have not closed a single day. I've remained. The only day I'm closing, I used to be closed 7 days. I used to be open 7 days. So I closed Sundays because there was inactivity that day. But the store has been for grab and go, curbside or deliveries, which we didn't do deliveries. Now we do deliveries. So you kind of like get used to all these new things that you just got to like embrace, whether you want to or not. And in essence, we have not stopped a single day. It just kind of accelerated. And talking about acceleration, man, this is kind of like a thing now.
Oh, dude.
But like warp speed acceleration, because it's like everything is just like, for instance, some of these 4,000 stuff that we're doing now in the back and right here. Yeah, this is what I had planned for like a couple of years into it. Once I stabilize it, and it's like right on my lap right now. So, it's just incredible. And what things are happening,
Yeah, there's some businesses that are like, a lot of businesses, actually, people that are getting beat up, but then there are people that are serving a need like right now in the space. And it's actually, for better or worse, creating opportunity, to grow like employment bases and stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, normally we would have, talking about employment, we would have, an average of 85 to 100 employees on the payroll. Now we currently have like about 25. So, and we've kept those 25, all throughout the process.
Like a lot of the restaurants, other than like people that had grab and goes and stuff, they were basically forced to close, just like everywhere, essentially, right? And are they starting?
Most restaurants were closed. Some found themselves unable to understand deliveries and to-goes in the way that they needed to be addressed for this. Other people, probably thought it was going to be a shorter endeavor, so they decided to just shut up and then just continued on. Then some assistants came, and I don't know. It's a variety, it's anyone's guess, But most of them closed. Actually, I can tell you that here in Guaynabo, which is the city where I am, right next to San Juan, it was really a thing of like just very few people, that had the amount of services that we were providing. Very few more, probably maybe 2 or 3. The rest of it were they tried the to-go thing and figured out that in small volumes was not going to be, any kind of answer to the questions.
And so, are they like now the ones that kind of are surviving through that? Are people starting to kind of reopen now?
Well, real survival will be tested, as we speak. Most people are going to find out, it's a sad thing, but this is, in my experience, I think this is what's going to happen. We went through the part of the pandemic that is health related. Now we're going to go to the part of the pandemic that is financially related, because some people think they're going to be open. Some people are going to go and say, okay, I'm ready to go to the suppliers. So let's go start it again. Yeah, when you pay me this, I'll supply you again. Or if you can do COD, but you got to give me a bit of what you owe me. So that is going to make it a very difficult endeavor.
Yeah.
Especially smaller places. Certainly, opportunities are everywhere. It's just a matter of having that keen eye, or perhaps be prepared, not even know when you were prepared, like in our case, hey, how would I know I was prepared, but we were prepared. And, we were looking already at other things, so we're looking to volumize things and how can we do other stuff. So for instance, in the course of all this, so we've made ourselves eligible for bidding in federal government bids, for when, God forbid, we get the next hurricane, because that really would be something. Pandemia and hurricane here, but
and the earthquake.
Yeah, and the earthquake. Well, the earthquakes are now this. No, the earthquakes now are like, what? Oh, 5.2, yeah, whatever, because how can you even prevent? It's not like the hurricane where you have like, a couple days to put it together. So it has become second nature. So if it goes like this, you're going like, whatever, okay, sit tight, and then you continue on. The
restaurants that depend on tourism, like in Condado and that's long. I mean, that's a long tail, right?
That's a long shot. I'll say, and I agree entirely with you. But here's the deal. I had come to a point of understanding that we were suffering tourism-wise because my experience, and I don't know if this was everyone else's experience, but my experience was I had a declining amount of tourists, and the tourist that was arriving was not with as much disposable income, finding my experience a little bit too out of their comfort zone for dining. So maybe some people came once, and experienced that whole deal. Yeah. But it was not like it was before. So my whole move to Guaynabo, which is the suburbs, something was given to me that this is not going in the right direction. So I made the move just in time to not be dependent, on that sector of the tourism, which provided more than 50% of our income in the past.
For someone that's considering going to Puerto Rico, is it time now, do you think, or do you think we should wait, or what do you recommend?
I think more than a recommendation, I think that's kind of like an individual thing that is going to respond to your degree of adventure. Some people are going to come and not be like insulted if somebody comes like 3 feet within distance, or something. There are restaurants open. There's people at the beach. There's people everywhere. You go to the kiosks. You go to the fritter kiosks over in Luquillo. I mean, I've ridden my bike there a couple times, and there's all kinds of people there. So some people are making the experience kind of like in your car. So you go by, get a couple fritters, and continue driving.
Yeah.
But if you're adventurous and you're not hypochondriac, when it comes to these things, it may be the right time. Everything for you to see and enjoy is here. So I think it'll more depend on that factor, whether it, and I don't even know what's the situation with hotels, I don't even know what's with that. And then you hear stories of people that are at the Four Seasons, they'll give you your sheets and your pillows, and I'm like, really? For the same price? I'm like, whatever.
You mean like they just like hand it to you?
Yeah. Like, okay, you gotta do your own bed. Really? That's why I can't did my bed.
We still want to do projects down there, and we're trying to figure out what to do. So,
and please continue with that thought. Let's do projects down here. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anything that like I didn't bring up or something that you want to just tell the world about, like you, about your restaurant, about Puerto Rico, anything at all?
Well, Puerto Rico, let me tell you, the greatest part about Puerto Rico is the people, because everybody is generally in a great mood. You know, it is a place that allows you a little bit more liberty. Not that it's been legally allowed, but people act like if they've been allowed this liberty, meaning to say people drive a little faster, they do things, they'll carry their drinks out from the establishment. I don't know. And I'm not saying it's allowed or that you can do it, okay? But what I'm trying to say is to recreate, you know, the fun part of Puerto Ricans. You know, everybody's very festive. This is what I like to say about that. And my first explanation may have not been adequate. But what I mean to say is this. If you come and you don't know anyone in Puerto Rico, you rent a car and you're going out to Ruta del Lechon, and something happens to your car, breaks down, you go on the side of the road, I guarantee you, in a matter of not more than an hour, somebody will stop. That person will help you fix your issue, will take you out for lechon and take you to the one they prefer and you know, introduce you to some people. By the end of that day, you're gonna be friends with this person. You're gonna write to each other. He's gonna come to your house. And like one of these things that I get goosebumps as I say this to you, because truthfully, this is Puerto Rico, is Puerto Ricans.